Welcome to episode 7 of Walking the Walk. You know, the people you're spending time with.
Absolutely great thing to be going through a dieting phase and still having been raised.
Take a bit of a road trip today. We're going to throw in a bit of a variation of this during the next set as well. Welcome to episode 7 of Walking the Walk. Today, I've just got back from taking my second bloods with Medichecks. The first test that we did, there was 1 or 2 readings that didn't come back right, so I needed to redo that. So we're getting that done now. Well, we are going to be getting that done. I'm now just checking in with Coach for my check-in. We'll speak a little bit about that in a little while, because I do think everyone could benefit from coaching, so that's definitely something I want to touch on this week. Even coaches need coaches, so yeah.
Other hormone levels, testosterone, free testosterone, absolutely great thing to be going through a dieting phase and still having been raised. Testosterone is good. Normally quite often see that bottomed out.
So just receiving some feedback from my coach, Mr. James Sutton, and he was giving me some feedback with regards to the bloods that I had taken from Medichecks. He's a very educated guy. He knows a lot about sort of endocrine system, and it's great to hear his feedback. So he was basically talking about the fact that, you know, considering we are quite, you know, deep into this dieting phase at the minute, testosterone levels are still at a fairly good range, all things considered, which is quite, you know, quite pleasing to hear his opinion on that. And the other thing that I think is worth mentioning is, you know, feedback like this is integral for me, because, you know, I guess this is a lot of what I do for my clients. When you are in a phase of, you know, pushing a really, you know, lofty fitness goal, you can start second guessing yourself. Am I doing enough? You know, am I in a good place? And just having, you know, the second opinion of someone who's, you know, on the outside in, looking into things for you and, you know, giving you that feedback, it's so integral, and it, you know, really helps with motivation, accountability, and keeps you in the game. And I'd like to think that's exactly what I provide for my clients. And you know, you may not have heard this, but I do believe everyone could benefit from a coach, you know, for so many reasons, and this just highlights it right here. Okay, so a bit of an overview of the week. We're now sort of 3.5 weeks out from photo shoot number 2. And I guess in the last week, there's been some good progress. Obviously, we made a few alterations to nutrition, output, to push the leather a little bit in this last week. And it resulted in a couple of weight lows. I'm definitely seeing some extra conditioning this week, I think. And overall, it's been a positive week. I also got myself over to a spa on the Saturday, which was cool. So I had a day at the spa, trained, hit a bit of jacuzzi and sort of steaming whatever afterwards, which was really nice. Also went out for a meal Saturday night, had a bit of an Italian, so that's something that I probably wouldn't have considered during the first time around. So I think they're all positive signs that, you know, we're in a pretty good place now. Did have a bit of a funny day yesterday. Check-in days on a Monday, as you guys probably know by now. I'm finding this day really challenging with regards to energy at the minute. I don't train on this day. I'm home the whole day, so I'm finding myself a little bit more food focused. So I'm considering having a bit of a higher calorie day moving forward on the Monday, just to help manage it a little bit, because I'm just flagging the whole day. Obviously, it's quite, you know, mentally draining. Checking in with, you know, multiple clients throughout the day on low calories. So I'm going to speak to my coach about it, but thinking a little bit of a higher calorie day on the Monday, just to help manage energy a little bit, and then obviously push the other days a little bit lower. So the plan of action nutritionally this week is we're going to make another further calorie drop. We're going to do this in the form of a very simple tweak to a carbohydrate meal of an evening. We're literally going to swap out potatoes for the same weight in cauliflower. Cauliflower is obviously quite a tad bit lower in calories, still a fair bit of volume there, so it should be a fairly simple switch. So we're going to see how that goes. And I think it makes a lot of sense when you are, you know, into that squeaky bum time, as I spoke about, that you want things as simple as possible. So you want to limit decision fatigue, because all these little decisions that you have to make across a day can then have an effect on your ability to basically adhere and stay on plan. So you want to keep things as simple as possible, especially towards the latter stages of a dieting phase. Hence why we've gone with a super simple meal plan, very easy to tweak. Of course, when you get into sort of more so an off-season or maintenance phase, then you can start being a bit more flexible and add in, you know, more elaborate meals, etc. But when you're dialing it in, I'm a massive fan of meal plans. The same goes for clients as well. Latter end of a dieting phase, I think meal plans work extremely well. It's not to say it's going to work for everyone, but personal preference on the whole for most is going to be a meal plan there. So within this documentary, something that's important to me is also like sharing some value and some education, helping out someone who's maybe going through a similar process. So what I've done is taken 5 points that I think could massively help someone else who's on this journey. 5 takeaways that you may not have considered, that you really want to try and take care of to get the very best out of the process. So right from the top, number 1, environment. So your environment is so key. The environment is everything from, you know, the people you're spending time with, the way your home is set up in terms of the foods, you know, that you've got in it, you know, your stress levels, all of these things contribute to your environment. So again, you know, making sure that your home is set up with nutritious foods that are conducive to your diet, that thing's huge. If you've got, you know, your cupboards are laced with junky foods, we're all human. At the end of the day, at some point you're gonna fall off wagon and you're gonna dive in. So environment, make sure this is conducive to you getting results. The people you're spending your time with, the foods you're eating, the way your home's set up, etc, etc. All right. Number 2, sleep. Sleep, if you're not getting adequate amounts and good enough quality sleep, will have negative ramifications on every single part of your life, you know, from relationships, from your adherence to nutrition, to your hormone levels, to your stress levels. If you're not taking care of this, I think it just, you know, compounds in a negative way. And vice versa, if you are getting enough sleep, everything is just going to be improved. Your ability to adhere to nutrition, your energy across the day, your focus, all of these things will be improved if you're doubling down on sleep. And that's been a huge insight this time around. Third, don't underestimate the power of food volume. So, you know, making sure that you've got lots of veggies within your diet, big salads, making sure that you're focusing on lean proteins and food sources that provide lots of satiation over, you know, less dense foods, which may be more palatable and more enjoyable to eat. But at the end of the day, if you're in a dieting phase, you need to be taking care of the satiation side of things, because being massively hungry all the time will knock you off course. So take care of food volume. Number 4 would be keep it simple, plan and prepare. So, you know, we don't want to make this thing any more complex than it needs to be. Plan the hell out of your days. That goes from when you're going to be getting your steps in, when you're going to be getting your training sessions in, when you're going to be doing your meal preps, you know, potentially going with a meal plan rather than trying to play macro Tetris with MyFitnessPal all the time. All of these things just make it so much easier to basically adhere to a plan, an overall plan. So plan and prepare the hell out of your life and make sure you're all set up. Number 5, when you fall off the wagon, because you will at some point. I had a little bit of an episode last night where I probably overate a bit more porridge oats and whey protein than I should have done. And this is where the, you know, looking at the average of the week is so important as well. So when you fall off the wagon, because you will, don't feel like it's the end of the world. Jump back on the wagon and keep it moving, you know, and you can look at the average of the week. Chances are it's probably not made too much of a difference as long as you crack on and then don't let that hamper the rest of your week.
Most important part, getting the gym outfit ready.
So we're over at a new gym today, so it's only right that I bring out the fresh Natty Gang oversized tee and Mr. T for your discount. Not really. So just arrived at GAINZ Bedford, and that is today's location for the training session. Thought why not take a bit of a road trip today, train somewhere different, and yeah, let's see what they got. So starting off today's workout with a leg extension, and you might wonder why we're doing an isolation instead of maybe a bigger compound movement like a squat or a lunge. For me, what I like to do is warm up the joints, and I think like something like an isolation, like a leg extension, really does sort of get the blood into the muscle, so that when you get to the compound exercise, you just feel a lot better, just feel a lot fuller, and it's almost like provides a bit of a foundation to then do that heavier work. Just got finished doing my second set of hack squats. So set 2 has me doing sort of 10 to 12 reps with a rest pause, plus get as many more as you can after that. And the ideology of it is you're basically taking that musculature past failure. So the rest pause, you take a bit of a break, and then you go again. So I actually normally do this lift banded. So it took me a few warm-up sets to get used to the weight I'm going to be using. I actually use about 30 to 40 kilograms more this variation today, but this is why it's important to do warm-up sets, even more so when you're in a different gym. So we're into my indicator lift now for upper body push, which is the parallel dip. Massive fan of this exercise. You know, we're 3 weights away from the shoot, but hell, we're going for a PB today. So we've got 45 kilograms on the dip belt. Let's see if we can get 6 or more. Coming to the end of the workout now, we're going to do one single core exercise to finish off. So this is an elevated reverse crunch. with a bit of a hip raise, really good exercise. We're going to throw in a bit of a variation of this during the next set as well. And you're going to see a big guy do a dragon flag, so let's see if I can do it. So just got done the lifting side of things. We're going to finish off with 15 minutes of HIIT now. We're going to go 30 seconds all out, followed by, it'll work out to be about 12 minutes. So 30 seconds all out sprint, followed by 90 seconds recovery. We're going to aim for 6 sets, and yeah, not looking forward to this. Just got done finishing off the session at GAINZ, and I must say this place is epic. I mean, equipment's wicked, music's off the chain, and look at these supplements. It's like Christmas Day. I'm considering maybe grabbing a couple of bits. They've got some wicked pre's here. They've got this cream of rice, which I've never really tried before as well, which I hear a lot about. So we may grab a few bits, but yeah, it's been a great day. The day started off a little bit not the best, in all honesty, to put it mildly. I was feeling a little bit fatigued. Obviously yesterday I had a little bit of went off plan a little bit, so I was feeling a little bit sort of negative this morning, but great session on board, and it just shows what a great session can actually do, just to G you up, and the change of locations also help. So that's it for another episode, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you for the next one.